Are you ready to stop letting your mind tell you can't achieve your biggest dreams? Then you're ready to rewrite your stories. In this video, I'll show you how to rewrite your stories so you can reset your mindset and empower yourself to live a life you love. If you like this video, be sure to hit the like button below, subscribe, and hit that bell button so that you never miss another Speak, Grow, Rise tip again. My name is Jamie Hammond, and I'm a certified life coach, and this is Speak, Grow, Rise, where I share tips to help young professionals like you speak, grow, and rise into your purpose and your best self. In order to change your mindset, you have to rewrite your disempowering stories. Our mindset is tied to our perspective, or how we view the world. And our perspective is largely informed by the stories we tell ourselves and the meaning we give to those stories. If you haven't done the work to identify your stories, make sure you watch this video first before watching this one. Trust me, you'll want to dig deep into your stories first so you know where and why you have them so that you can make big change when you rewrite them. When we identify our disempowering stories, we have the choice to either stay in that disempowering story or write a new one that better serves us. Ready to rewrite your stories? Let's get started. In the last video about stories, I challenged you to consider whether or not the story served you. Now it's time to consider where and how it didn't serve you. Ask yourself, where have I not taken action as a result of this story? Where have I played small because I disempowered myself with this story? Once you know how this story has set you back, you're ready to move on to the next step. In the last video, I talked about my story around money. As a recap, let's go back to it. My story was, I'm not good with money. When I was in college, I maxed out my credit cards on textbooks, and I got so nervous about paying off my debt that I ruined my credit for years. Therefore, I am not good with money now. Now, there is a lot in that story to pull apart, and I want you to do the same thing with yours. While it may seem like a work of nonfiction to you because you lived the story, there are parts of it that are just fictitious. Here's what I mean. When I said that I maxed out my credit cards on textbooks, which is true, I was assuming that that was a bad choice. I'm placing value on that. I'm judging what happened as negative. But what I'm also doing is hiding the full truth, which was I was broke when I was in college. I didn't have a lot of help to get through college, and I had to buy my own textbooks, and my credit cards were all I had to get the books. So my options were get no books or spend credit to get the books. And I don't know about you, but I was determined to get through school. So no books was not an option. So that part of my story is actually a story of determination, of resourcefulness, of making a questionable choice, questionable, sure, but for a means to an end with a purpose. So where do you see the fiction in your story? What is your nonfiction truth that you've been hiding behind the fiction? When we lean into our truth, we expand. Meaning, when we look past the broad strokes fiction of the story that boxed us in, we can consider new possibilities and expand into new options. So back to my example about the textbooks. When I consider that my story is one of determination and resourcefulness, I expand the possibilities of my story. What I see is something very new for someone who was originally bad with money. What it really becomes is a story of investment. It's a story of investing in myself for a better outcome. So in this example, I bet on myself. I invested in my future. Did I choose the best way to do that? Maybe not. But in this instance, I made a good investment, an investment that ultimately paid off in dividends. And that's really so much more true about me than being bad with money. Because when I consider investing in something today, I have good reasons to do so, which means I'm not bad with my money. And I've gotten better at where I invest my money year after year. What about you? Where have you found fiction in your story? Tell me in the comments below. When you've identified the fiction in your story, it's time to rewrite it. Find the parts of your story that don't make sense to you anymore, that are not aligned with the truth Scratch them out and rewrite the story that empowers you. Now, when the old story comes up, remind yourself of the new story so you can really believe it and shove out the old fictitious one. We're not done when we rewrite the story. Now we need to live it. I recommend writing your new story and placing it somewhere where you can see it every day, or reading it to yourself every morning. And I recommend putting yourself in situations where you can live your new story. So for example, what I do now with my story is I actually invest my money, literally and figuratively. And I remind myself that I'm a good investor. I make good choices with where I spend my money. And I hone that skill by learning more about investing and doing my research and thinking about long-term payoff before I buy something. I am a great investor today, and that's because I remind myself of my new story and that my old story held me back every day. Rewriting your story is only one part of resetting your mindset, but it is necessary if you want to reach your goals. Story writing, as well as so much more, is all part of my first section of my Ignite program. That first section, Identify, includes made-for-you worksheets that include everything we talked about in this video and more. Interested in learning more about how you can make lasting change for a life you love? Sign up for my email list and get a free download of my 5-minute fire starter, where you'll get more information about my Ignite program, a quick Ignite worksheet, and a free copy of my identity worksheet so you can start the process of identifying. Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed these tips, please like this video and subscribe so that you never miss another Speak, Grow, Rise tip again. And check out my other videos for more tips on how to ignite your life. See you in the next video.